The Guns of August by Avalon Hill, a 1981 classic game. It's interesting to note that we're going to start the game before the Siege of Liège in Belgium, and that was the event that led to Great Britain declaring war on Germany because Belgium neutrality was violated. And what I'm going to have to do when I actually play is I'm going to have to decide, do I want to take the exact same course that history took by invading Belgium, or do I want to go through the Netherlands instead and try to win the war that way? It's interesting to note that from the board game perspective, I might try to get I might even get a victory without even implicating Great Britain getting into the war, although historically that probably wouldn't have happened anyway. You almost think that England would have went to war with Germany anyway, given the political situation. At this time in history, of course, leading up to the Great War, Germany was building a formidable fleet, and it was something that Bismarck talked about avoiding in German history. We're going to go over some of the actual historical documents as well as some of the strategy articles. In fact, during this whole video series, we're going to go over probably about 12 different articles that were written specifically on the Guns of August, the Avalon Hill game, and we're going to go over some excerpts of the book, the classic book, The Guns of August, which details the opening months of the war. I think personally I'm going to go through more or less a traditional route that Germany went through, but maybe try to be a little bit more. You can actually win the game either way. From what I've played, I tried to play this game about a half a year ago. And what I found out was that it seems like the reinforcement schedules, the strategy pretty much hinges on reinforcement and replacement schedules. In the game, you're going to have a reinforcement phase where you put reinforcements down and also replacements. And they have to come in exactly on schedule, and sometimes they have to come in an exact location, or almost the exact location where they're supposed to historically. And if you're not able to receive certain things on schedule, you don't receive them at all. Units that come into the game as replacements and as reinforcements have to come in supply, so that's a critical part of the game. And also, of course, the terrain modifiers are crucial. And also, maneuvering with the combat results table, you have to have a 2-to-1. You have to have very strict ratios, like 2-to-1, 3-to-1, in order to get the benefits of those ratios in battle. And that seems like it overly benefits the defender, but at the same time, there are special rules that were written in the game, like, for example, if you're going to retreat, you have to realize that combat support units don't have the ability to retreat. So in that sense, there's more of a danger than if you have something like a cavalry attacking, where it can just simply suffer the cost of demoralization, which would simply be something like backing up. There's a lot of interesting things, though, we'll go through piece by piece as we go through the whole game. I already did a video where I went through the entire rules. I made some mistakes when I was reading. I'm gonna point out the mistakes I made when I was reading when I go over the different rules. I think I made 4 mistakes when I was reading the rule books plus the mega variant rules. About 3 hours to read the whole rule book. It's very, very long. Well, it's not very long, but it's pretty detailed. So we're going to start, and also before I do anything else with this video, I want to state that I have some units set up on the board which are not actually mobilized. Like Italy, I have some Italian units already set up which are mobilized for the war, but they're not actually participants in the war quite yet. Italy entered World War I in 1915 in May, and there's some other stuff here too, there's some other stuff that's set up, like Romanian troops and stuff, and they don't come into the war till a lot later, till 1916.